This is the Day of Battle podcast. I'm Joe Hayes. Welcome back. Today is going to kind of be a part 2 episode of the last one that I did. That one was titled David Goggins or King David. I hope that you liked it. And I've been thinking a lot about that one. And honestly, I thought a lot about that episode before I recorded it. You know, honestly, I was kind of intimidated to come out with that message because for a long time in my life, I really aspired to the complete message from men like David Goggins and Jocko Willink. And as I said in the previous podcast, I really like those guys. I mean, I think that they bring something to the veteran and warfighter community, and with Jocko, even the business community, for his discipline and just execution strategies. They bring so much to the table that is of amazing value. And we are in a crisis in this nation. Really, all of the West is in a crisis for what masculinity is. I mean, hey, I just watched a movie this last week called What is a Woman? And I highly recommend you watch it. But our culture can't figure out what a woman is, and everybody's talking about that. At the same time, our culture can't figure out what a man is, and men cannot figure out what it means to be a man. And I just think that all across the land, people are confused about masculinity. And, you know, there's a big crisis going on, and you can look at certain people and think, well, that's what a man looks like based upon his appearance. And honestly, like, that stuff doesn't matter. The outward appearance is not what matters. That does not reflect what is on the inside of the man. And I have seen it in real life. People that look big and intimidating can be nothing when it comes to actual adversity in their life, whether it's physical adversity in some sort of fight, or whether it's something that they have to do and get through and, you know, get over that hump. What you look like and what you've been through a lot of times really have nothing to do with how you're going to perform in the future. And it has nothing to do with how you're going to operate as a man and what kind of person you are and what kind of integrity is inside of you. So, like in the last podcast, I want to continue to interact with the mindset that Jocko brings to the table. I'm doing it because I think it's constructive for believers in Christ. Because, you know, full disclosure, when I really subscribed to that mentality that he brings to the table, which is very attractive, honestly, it left me wanting. It left me hungry and unsatisfied. Because as King Solomon said, trying to attain the things in life is like grasping after the wind, and it's vanity. And it's truly unattainable. Now, I don't want to say that hard work and discipline and excellence and grit and toughness are not great things. They are great things. Absolutely. And if you're listening to this podcast, I hope that you are trying to be the toughest man or woman that you can be and need to be in your life. For my guys out there, I hope that you are protecting your family and that you're always prepared to defend those around you who cannot defend and protect themselves. And I hope that you're working hard, and I hope that you're working out and keeping yourself fit and eating clean and gearing up to live a long, successful life and really deal with whatever the Lord puts in front of your path. That is what you should do. You know, your body is the temple of God on this earth. The Holy Spirit dwells in your body. And so you should not be putting a bunch of garbage into it, whether it's drugs and alcohol or just a bunch of nasty freaking garbage that's going to make you fatter and weaker and slower to where you can't work as hard as you ought to for your family. And I think that you should be setting a godly example for your young men in your life, whether it's young men around you that look up to you, or maybe your little boy. You've got to teach him how to be a man, because our culture sure as heck is not. I can guarantee you that. If they have their way, they'll have your son dressing up like a girl. So you have to teach your son how to be a man and how to be tough and how to work hard and how to work out. They're not going to get those things anywhere else. And if they do get them somewhere else, they're liable to get the wrong message along with them. So you got to be careful with this stuff. The other influencers and podcasters out there, they are pushing a message that is good at face value, but if you really take it in and internalize it, it's pure vanity. Now, I want to show you one right now. This is from Jocko Willink's YouTube channel. It's called Time is Running Out. And he's right. Time is running out. It's running out for all of us. Every single second that ticks away, you are closer to death. So what is his message with this? Let's check it out.
I hear that I'm over 40, I'm pushing 50, whatever. Bring it. Back off, negative. Not happening. In fact, I'm stepping it up. I'm training harder, eating cleaner. I'm training more. I'm learning and reading and studying more now than I ever have in my whole life. Do I get dinged up? Of course I do. You know what? No factor. No factor. Deal with them. You know what? You know what I hear? I hear the clock ticking. That's what I hear. And the end is nigh, and time waits for no man. And you young guns out there, 18 years old, 20 years old, 24 years old, listen. Life goes by, and it goes by quick. Don't waste those years. Don't waste them. Live them. I know that you think you're going to live to be 30, much less 40, but you are and you will. And the earlier you get in the game, the better life you're going to have. Healthier, wealthier, stronger, smarter, better. Better. And if you're an old man like me and you haven't gotten on track yet, get on track. Get on it now. Here's the deal. No complacency. No complacency. No backing off. No slack whatsoever. Fight. Fight that ticking clock with everything you got. So, at the end of a hard day, put your head down with ease. Satisfied.
So that is a very appealing message for men that like to work hard and do tough things and climb mountains and lift up heavy barbells and train hard and run and gun and find the enemy. Either meet him on the battlefield and shoot and kill him, or meet him on the streets and take him to jail, or throw the wet stuff on the hot stuff for my firemen out there. That message is appealing. And we all relish that in a way where it motivates us to get up off of our butts and get out there and go do something, because time's running out and I'm not going to sit here and waste away and get fatter and slower and dumber when I could be out there getting stronger and faster and sharper and smarter. There's something that he says right here in this clip. He says healthier, wealthier, stronger, smarter, better. And the honest truth is this: you don't get to decide that. You might get to pick it for a while, but you are ultimately not in control of those things. Healthier? Man, I have a great friend that just about died from some medical procedures. This man was healthy as a horse. This man looked like he could compete in a bodybuilding competition. And several weeks after his procedures went bad, he was almost all gone. It goes quick. And he found out, and I know he knew before it happened, but once that time happens and you are on this deathbed type situation, you really realize it. And I've never had that realization for myself yet. And, someday that time will probably come for me. But he found it out. That as awesome and tough as he is, he was nothing compared to what God was going to take him through. When it comes to being wealthier, we ultimately don't get to decide how wealthy we're going to be. And for those of us out there that want to make a lot of money, great. Go do that. But don't let it rule you. Don't let that be the only thing. Do not be led around by your bank account. Stronger. I've heard it said that the people that fill up the gyms are people that have problems in their life, and they're going to the gym to exercise those problems out of their life. And I believe that it's true because I used to be one of them. And when I was doing that and engaged in that lifestyle of continually just hazing myself to make myself better and tougher, man, I was pretty jacked, okay? Yeah, it looked good. It felt good. But that was my therapy. And there's nothing wrong with therapy, like physical exercise as therapy. I still like to do that. I can't do it like I used to. I've been broken way too many times. But yes, I love that struggle. But when that is your outlet for dealing with your problems in life, that's not good. You ultimately don't get to pick the terms of the battle. Because what about when you blow out a disc in your back? What about when your shoulder goes and you have reconstructive surgery? What about when you get cancer and you're on chemotherapy and radiation and you can't keep a protein drink down in your gut? Now what? What did all of those years of lifting and pushing yourself through tough adversity get you? When you're hugging a toilet and puking up bile, and that's all you've got in your stomach, and the end is coming. All of those reps mattered not. And I hope that you understand that. I also hope that you understand that it's okay to love those things and enjoy those things, but those things, this mentality, these ideals that are being pushed forth from these men that I'm talking about, who are great men, for them, it seems to me that these things they do are an end to themselves. You do this because you love it and it makes you happy, and you keep doing it, and it is this perpetual cycle that you have to keep running through every day, and it leaves you satisfied every single night. And if you don't do it, if you miss a cycle, if you miss a day where you didn't get your workout in, you didn't get your studying time in, you didn't get your business stuff or whatever it is inside of your day, then you are not satisfied. And I am here to tell you that that is a rat race. It's incompletable. You can't finish it. You have to keep climbing that hill every single day. For what? For a battle within yourself. And it is a self-glorifying proposition to put yourself through. And I know it. I know what I'm saying is true because I used to do it. It's honestly like, I wish I didn't have to say that, but I'm going to be honest with my audience here. And so many in my hardcore warrior fighter audience, and so many in the veteran community and the Marine Corps community are really sucked into this sort of theology on life and manhood and masculinity and machoism. It's really its own brand. Again, like I've got to say, there's a lot of good things that it has to offer. Okay, so I'm not trying to like knock everything down and just be disagreeable with it. That is not what I'm trying to do here. What I'm trying to say is it cannot be an end in itself. That cannot be all that you are. You are more than that. Because all of these messages that I'm hearing on the social medias, on YouTube and stuff like that, on podcasts from men like this, it's really all about you. And it's about you finding your inner awesomeness and bringing it out every single day. And if you continue to do that, you will be better and healthier and wealthier and stronger and smarter. And if you don't do it, then you're just going to be lazy. You're going to be unproductive, and it's bad for you. And, you know, there is 99% truth in that. But the one problem that I have with it is that it leaves God out of the equation. The ultimate warrior does not find his warfighter spirit inside of himself. He finds it in the Lord. When I was in Ramadi, I'd gone back to Iraq after being wounded. And if you want to hear more on that story, check out some of the first episodes. I really covered a lot of my action and stuff in Ramadi. But we were on a quick reaction force one day, my platoon and I. And that means if something bad goes down in the city, we are ready at a moment's notice to be on trucks and Humvees, geared up, gunned up, and go out there and deal with it. And so we're on QRF, and sure enough, the call comes in, and we can hear rounds flying downrange, you know, several hundred meters out there. And there's one of our platoon elements is under attack. And we all get in the back of these vehicles, and we're ready to go. We're locked and loaded. And I had a big grin on my face. I could not wait to get in the action. And one of my Marines remarks to me, he says, "What's up with you, Hayes? You're a Christian, you love Jesus, and we're about to go get in a gunfight and you got a big smile on your face. What's up with that?" And I don't really remember exactly what I said in response to that, but I know what my inner response to that was, and that is, I'm a warfighter. I love being a warfighter, and my strength is in the Lord. And I know that I might go out there and get killed right now, but I know that the Lord is with me, and he's going to protect me, and my time is in his hands. My time is not running out. My time is in his hands. My time is not ticking. My days are numbered by him, by my God. And that was my mindset and mentality as a young 21-year-old corporal. And I'm really glad to be able to look back on those days and recognize that mentality that I had. It's encouraging to myself to be able to say, okay, I had a couple things squared away at that point in time. But what I can tell you is this, that through all the things that I've been through, whether the Marine Corps or law enforcement, I was in some very violent altercations. And I had several times when I came home in the morning after being on patrol as a cop, where I talked to God and I admitted to him that it was only by his grace and by his hand that I made it home that day, because somebody had it out for me, and somebody was intent on doing me death and taking my life. And here's the interesting thing, I guess. I'm a really good shot at the range. I've always had a high level of physical fitness when I was a police officer or a Marine. I trained hard. I was a defensive tactics instructor as a police officer. I was a martial arts instructor from the Marine Corps. So I understood my way around a fight, whatever kind of fight it was. But I can tell you this, from the life and death situations that I've been in, it has not been my fault that I made it out of them. It has been the hand of the Lord. It has not been me being stronger and smarter than my enemy that I got away and that I made it home. It has been God supernaturally intervening in my life because He knows me and He loves me and He has a plan for me and He has my days numbered. My times are in His hands. And I've always known that. And for the most part, I've rested in that. Now I've gotten off track and off the path of where I should be with my mentality in my struggle for more discipline and wisdom and leadership and things of that nature. But I've always known that He was there with me. And He has made it so evident to me that He was. I wish everybody had the opportunity and experience to know what that feels like. And I think that many of you do. It is an amazing feeling when you know that God has rescued you. It's a feeling like no other. You feel very special when that happens. And you realize that it could have all been gone and over in a split second. But for God, He decided to reach down and cover you up, or move you out of the way, or move the other guy out of the way. So many things like that happens, and every time it does, you've got to stop and just recognize how powerless you are on this planet. You're honestly not in control of jack squat. You're not. So does that mean that you just don't wear your seatbelt when you drive down the road? Drive 100 miles per hour down the road? Don't work out? Don't eat healthy? Because God has your days numbered? He has this plan for you, so you don't have to worry about anything? No, it does not mean that at all. Not in the least. You should be healthy. You should be safe. You should be smart. You should be strong. But at the same time, you should recognize that God is ultimately in control of your life. You should do everything as unto the Lord. Let me show you what Colossians 3:23 says. It says, "And whatever you do, do it heartily as to the Lord and not to men." So if you're going to do something, you do it like you are doing it in front of God. So if you're a football player, you better get out on your field and hit so hard that God would be proud of you for exercising your body in that fashion. Not that you're trying to make God proud. Don't get me wrong. If you're a bodybuilder, if you're training hard in the gym, you should be training hard because God gave you this body and He made it amazing. And you are going to use it to the fullest extent of what He has allowed with the laws of physics and muscle and brain. Funny thing, and this is a cute story. I just said the word cute. I was hanging out with my son, Gunner, and we're outside, and we were getting ready to go back inside, and he's wearing these tennis shoes. And my son has tons of energy, and he's strong, and he's fast, and he loves life, and he loves using his body to do things. And he was running around, and he goes, "Dad, I want to show you how fast I am." And I said, "Okay, well, let's see what you can do." And he starts backing up, trying to get some some distance between him and where he's going to run to. And he stops for a second as he was backing up, and he looks at me, and his eyes are real serious, real intent look on his face, and he says, "You know what, Dad? God made my feet really fast." And I said, "Okay, buddy, let's see what you can do." It was the coolest thing for me to hear him say, because here you've got a little 7-year-old boy that's just excited about life, and he recognizes right now that God has given him speed, and it came from him. And Gunner knows right now that it's not Gunner that made Gunner fast. It was the Lord. And God gave him those feet to make him fast. I just love that. And I hope that that does not change in this young man. And I know I'm going to have to work on him and guide him so that he stays humble. Because I guarantee you this kid will probably get a head on him that starts inflating as he gets good and better at things. I mean, he'll even tell me right now that, he can do this or that better than me. And it's probably not but a few years until he's actually correct on that. But I just like his perspective and his acknowledgement that it was God that did this. So I want you to do that. I think that would be something good and honoring to God for you to look at your life and say, God, you have given me this. Also, with some of the messaging out there from other places, things that we're interacting with here, I've got to wonder what people are thinking when they are dealing with a horrible disability. I mean, some people can fight through certain disabilities, and then others seriously cannot. And that's got to be hard to hear a message like that, where it's all about yourself and what you can do. And you may be sitting there in a wheelchair, paralyzed, and you're like, well, you know what? I can't be stronger. I can't be faster. This is me right now, possibly for forever. What am I supposed to do with this intense message? This message of motivation? Well, I don't know. But I would tell you this. Your times are in His hands. And He knows your situation. And in His sovereign, loving will, He has given you this situation that you are dealing with. And you are not going to be able to deal with it through your own willpower. Because for you, whoever you are that is in a horrible medical situation, while getting out of bed in the morning at 5:30 or 6 is rough for some of us, getting out of bed at all may be a challenge for you that we have never experienced. And small, little, minute items that used to be just nothing, that you wouldn't even think of them, are now extreme challenges. My message is that your times are in His hands, and He knows where you're at. And He has not abandoned you. And He loves you, and He cares about your situation. And the best thing that you can do is cry out to Him. I hope my message is accepted out there. If it's not, well, there's probably not much I can do about that. But I do come to this message with a lot of conviction, just because of where I used to be at in my own personal life, and then, talking to other men out there that have been going through some of the same things. And I just want to share with you anonymously a message that I received from a listener of this podcast who's a good friend of mine. And he was telling me, and this man is Marine Corps and law enforcement. And he said, you know what? That last podcast you did needs to be heard by everybody in my situation, my age. They need to hear this right now. And he described the situation of listening to these other men out there pushing forth this certain ideology is it's like falling into a trap. And you've got guys out there that are seriously in a broken emotional state. They've got multiple women going on at the time. They maintain discipline, but they leave God out of the picture completely. And he told me with great wisdom, he says, honestly, at the end of the day, being a good, godly man for your family is all that matters. And he's very right. That is so true. That's my desire for my family. That when my days are fulfilled and the Lord is calling me home and my family is gathered around me, I want my family to recognize that Daddy was there for them, and Daddy loved them, and he led them for God, and he loved God, and he served God. And then all the other stuff that I did in my life, that really doesn't matter in the long run. They can forget about all that. As long as they know who I really was as a man of God, as a servant of the Lord, and that they accepted that message too, and that they'll be with me in eternity, there is really nothing else that matters out there. Now, to finish this off and kind of drive the point home here of, I guess, just the fact that being a warfighter is something godly. And you need to understand what a godly warfighter does and his mentality. Because that's what I hope that you're aspiring to be. And sometimes it's not very clear cut on what that is from modern Christianity. Because as I said in the beginning, hey, America and the West are in a crisis of masculinity. And a lot of times you don't get that from church. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But you're going to here. So how would a godly man interact with adversity, battle, defeat, victory? You need to dress up your mentality. You need to get your head straight. As a good buddy of mine says, you better get your mind right. Being a warfighter, being a man of God, they go together. The Lord is a man of war. Jesus Christ is coming back to execute judgment. He is a warrior. He made the warrior spirit. He made the muscles in your body. He created the nervous system. He created that drive inside of you to lift heavy things, to shoot straight, to crush evil. That comes from God. That does not come from the world. It ultimately comes from God, and it reflects off of his characteristics and parts of his personality. So how should a warrior be? How should he think? What should his ideology be? In a world plagued by confusing messages and messages that don't deliver forever, they ultimately leave you wanting, lacking, and thirsty. Here is a message. But you, O Lord, are a shield for me, my glory, and the one who lifts up my head. I cried to the Lord with my voice, and he heard me from his holy hill. Give heed to the voice of my cry, my King and my God. For to you I will pray. My voice you shall hear in the morning, O Lord. In the morning I will direct it to you, and I will look up. Lead me, O Lord, in your righteousness because of my enemies. Make your way straight before my face, and those who know your name will put their trust in you. For you, Lord, have not forsaken those who seek you. O Lord, you are the portion of my inheritance and my cup. You maintain my lot. I have set the Lord always before me. Because he is at my right hand, I shall not be moved. Therefore my heart is glad, and my glory rejoices. My flesh also will rest in hope. I have called upon you, for you will hear me, O God. Incline your ear to me, and hear my speech. As for me, I will see your face in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I awake in your likeness. The Lord is my rock, and my fortress, and my deliverer, my God, my strength, in whom I will trust, my shield, and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. In my distress, I called upon the Lord and cried out to my God. He heard my voice from his temple, and my cry came before him, even to his ears. For you will light my lamp. The Lord my God will enlighten my darkness. For by you I can run against a troop. By my God I can leap over a wall. As for God, his way is perfect. The word of the Lord is proven. He is a shield to all who trust in him. For who is God except the Lord? And who is a rock except our God? It is God who arms me with strength and makes my way perfect. He makes my feet like the feet of deer and sets me on my high places. He teaches my hands to make war so that my arms can bend a bow of bronze. You have also given me the shield of your salvation. Your right hand has held me up. Your gentleness has made me great. I have pursued my enemies and overtaken them. Neither did I turn back again till they were destroyed. I have wounded them, so that they could not rise. They have fallen under my feet. For you have armed me with strength for the battle. You have subdued under me those who rose up against me. You have also given me the necks of my enemies, so that I destroyed those who hated me. They cried out, but there was none to save. Then I beat them as fine as the dust before the wind. I cast them out like dirt in the streets. The Lord lives. Blessed be my rock. Let the God of my salvation be exalted. He delivers me from my enemies. You also lift me up above those who rise against me. You have delivered me from the violent man. Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we will remember the name of the Lord our God. The king shall have joy in your strength, O Lord, and in your salvation how greatly shall he rejoice. Be exalted, O Lord, in your own strength. We will sing and praise your power. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Keep my soul and deliver me. Let me not be ashamed, for I put my trust in you. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? Though an army may encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war may rise against me, in this I will be confident. The Lord is my strength and my shield. My heart trusted in him, and I am helped. Therefore, my heart greatly rejoices, and with my song I will praise him. The Lord is their strength, and he is the saving refuge of his anointed. In you, O Lord, I put my trust. Let me never be ashamed. Deliver me in your righteousness. Bow down your ear to me. Deliver me speedily. be my rock of refuge, a fortress of defense to save me. For you are my rock and my fortress. Therefore, for your name's sake, lead me and guide me. But as for me, I trust in you, O Lord. I say, you are my God. My times are in your hand. Deliver me from the hand of my enemies and from those who persecute me. I sought the Lord, and he heard me and delivered me from all my fears. This poor man cried out, and the Lord heard him and saved him out of all his troubles. The angel of the Lord encamps all around those who fear him and delivers them. Blessed be the Lord my rock, who trains my hands for war and my fingers for battle. That was a compilation of some Psalms that I took from anywhere from Psalm 3 or 4 all the way through Psalm 34. And it's just some things that I have been pulling, in my own heart and mind since I've been on this study in the Psalms on my YouTube channel. And what you're hearing are things that have been standing out to me big time. It is just this complete relaxation into the hand of God. And that's where he's got me right now. And I hope that he's bringing you there too. He might be dealing with you with something else. Great. This is where God has me right now, where I'm really focused on this. And honestly, it's exactly where I've got to be, because I'm doing something different and I'm doing something hard right now. And this is exactly what I need to be focusing on. But God is so good. And he is truly our strength. I cannot say it better than King David said it, so I won't even try. So to all my warfighters out there, do not live in your own strength. Do not rely on yourself. Do not find everything inside of yourself. Yourself will end. He who lives inside of you will not. Live for him. Bring glory to him. Do it heartily unto him. The Lord goes before you. The God of Israel is your rear guard. He has your 12. He has your 6.